At first glance, dog collars and leashes seem trivial, but they are a tool for communication between you and your dog. It keeps him by your side and headed in the right direction. If used incorrectly, they can damage your relationship with your animal. Choosing the right equipment can change your daily tow around the park into a relaxing evening walk with your favorite companion. To learn more about collars and leashes, we're going to talk to our friend, Dr. Richardson, at Big Sky Animal Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Michelle Richardson of Big Sky Animal Medical Center. The flat collars, whether they're nylon or leather, I think are great collars. They're usually comfortable, they're typically easy to fit, and they're usually adjustable. So you can get a collar that your dog can grow into. I like the nylon because you can wash them. The problem I see with those is if the dog's not properly leash trained and they pull against it, it can irritate the throat. But truly, almost any collar you pull against can irritate the throat. The chain collars, whether those are kind of the traditional links or there's like a diamond weave version, I would consider strictly a training collar. I don't think a dog should ever wear that unattended. I have actually seen some really bad things happen to dogs that were wearing those daily. So I think for a training collar, if you know how to use it appropriately, they're just fine. But it's not something the dog should live in. Same thing with the pinch collars or prong collars. I think there are better alternatives, but if you found that it works or you have a trainer who feels that it works, again, as long as you use it appropriately and just for training, those are okay too. The head halters of various brands I think are wonderful. I think dogs hate them until they get used to them because they aren't used to having something right over their nose, but they give an owner control without having to tug on the dog. Their biggest drawback is the dogs don't like them, and they take some practice to fit and use. Harnesses, I think in general, if they're fitted well, are great choices, whether that's a no-pull harness, whether that's a seatbelt type harness that you can get and the dog can wear outside of the car as well, I think can be great choices. It gives you a little more control over the body. If it's a husky or a sled dog, it really does give them something to throw their body against and pull you down the road. So harnesses don't stop dogs from pulling, it just stops them from pulling around their neck. Shock collars, I guess I would consider specifically a training collar, and again, a very effective training method if you know how to use them properly. And the martingale collars, the combination of the flat collar and the chain collar, I think they're just fine. I put them in the same category as a flat collar for the most part because they release that pressure instantly. You don't have to put them on any special way. You know, any collar can get caught on something if a dog, you know, runs through trees or tries to jump a fence and gets caught. But I think those martingale collars are less likely than a choke collar to cause damage if that happens. I like a 6-foot nylon leash. For my own dogs, they're washable, they're replaceable. Unfortunately, they're a little easy to chew through if your dog gets bored and likes to chew through leashes. But they're cheaper to replace than a really nice leather leash, which can be chewed through also. I guess the biggest thing I find with collars, and I don't know that it's a misuse, but not fitting them properly, it's usually that they're fitted too loosely so they slip right off the dog. If you hold onto the collar and the dog pulls, they'll slip right out of it. I usually recommend you want to be able to fit 2 fingers under the collar between the skin and the collar itself, so it's not too tight. I think a lot of us envision, you know, that high buttoned collar on your shirt and feeling that choking sensation, even though it's not too tight. If it's leaving marks in the dog, it's probably too tight. That would be a good start. I think really important that if someone's buying a harness, that you show them how to put it on correctly and that they practice, because I've seen harnesses upside down with the legs through the wrong holes. So that can be an issue. I mean, some of those harnesses are a little bit confusing and the fronts look like the backs and the tops look like the bottoms. I think in some ways harnesses are a little easier to fit than collars because they're less likely to slip out of them. But again, the things I see is if you're getting a lot of fur wear, it's probably too snug. If the dog is oozing out from between the straps, it's probably a little too snug, and your dog probably needs to lose some weight too, but loosen that harness up a little bit. You should look and make sure that's not rubbing up under the armpit areas. Is a big problem if the dog has outgrown it. That tends to be the big problem area. They get a harness for a puppy, and the puppy grows rapidly, and they can still get the harness on, so you assume it's okay, but there's a buckle rubbing somewhere or a strap rubbing somewhere that's causing problems.
Awesome. So we were just wondering, what do you recommend to look for leashes and collars?
Boy, that's a good question. I think there are certain dogs, especially if they have tracheal issues or neck issues, that will do better in a harness than in a traditional collar, a traditional flat collar. I'm a much bigger fan of flat collars than choke collars, the metal chains, unless you're using them specifically for training and you know how to use them, because you can put them on backwards. You can just use them inappropriately and can be a little too rough. I'm also a big fan of head collars, the Halties or gentle leaders, or there's a whole variety of those that instead of putting something around the neck, it goes over the muzzle and behind the ears. So for dogs that haven't learned really nice leash manners, or for a really big dog and a small person, it gives the person more control without having to resort to any harsh measures. It's kind of like leading a horse on a halter. You control the head, and if you control the head, the body's going to follow the head.
So that's it for episode 30 of the Ask North 40 show. Thanks for watching. Also, special thanks to Dr. Richardson at Big Sky Animal Medical Center for all the help. If you're interested in dog collars or leashes, don't forget to stop in North 40 Outfitters or check us out at north40.com. Also, if you have any more questions, comment below, or let us know on social media, and we will try to make a show out of it. Until next time, have a great day.